absolutely love seeing creative, passionate developers thrive, and this year we have gotten so many amazing AA and indie experiences so far. Clair, Obscur Expedition 33, Schedule 1, Repo, Split Fiction, tons of great games that are not coming from the top 1% of companies in this industry, and we're actually finding out that almost half of this year's top performing Steam games have come from AA or indie studios, which I think is so cool to see. I am one of the people who is sick of seeing reboots and remakes and remasters from these large companies. I want new and unique content at least every once in a while, and they're not the ones delivering that to us. So it says, as bigger studios continue to cancel projects and lay off talented developers or see their trend-chasing games fail, smaller games have come to the limelight. Indie titles like Schedule 1, Repo, and Peak have all garnered massive audiences, while games from smaller studios like Clair, Obscur Expedition 33 have achieved critical acclaim, breaking multiple records in the process. With player and development habits shifting, as 2025 reaches its halfway point, we've looked at the games with the highest player counts on Steam and have found that 40% of the top 20 are either indie or AA. Yeah, because the companies in the industry like the Obsidians and the BioWares are all creating slop. They are creating titles that are underwhelming for players at this point. And if you're not going to deliver us the best quality you possibly can, then we are going to look towards experiences that, yes, might not have the biggest budgets behind them, but at least are really fun and unique. Or in the case of Clair Obscur, that game was phenomenal in every single way. If you had told me that was a game made with a $500 million budget, I would have believed it. With the voice cast that they had gotten together, the visuals, how well polished it was, the scope of the game. If you had told me it was worth $500 million freaking dollars in total, I would have believed you. And it just goes to show that we do not need companies to put that much money into every single experience, because even when they're putting that much money into games, they're not half as good as games with a quarter of the freaking budget. So it says, according to this data pulled from SteamDB, 8 of this year's top 20 games sorted by peak concurrent player count have come from indie studios or can be classified as AA. And this is not good for the major companies in the industry, because they have thousands and thousands of people that they're laying off right now. They're canceling tons of projects that they've already put a lot of time and money into, and they need their next titles to be massive successes, but they are getting more and more competition, which I think is great. Competition is very healthy. If you have nobody you're competing against, you get too comfortable, and I think that that's what we've seen in this industry a lot recently. But here is the full list. We've got Monster Hunter Wilds, Schedule 1, Repo, Split Fiction, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, Bongo Cat, Stellar Blade, Dune Awakening, Clair Obscur Expedition 33, Mecha Break, Peak, Fragpunk, Shadowverse Worlds Beyond, Rematch, Inzoi, Fantasy Life, Assassin's Creed Shadows, RuneScape, Dragon Wild, Sultan's Game, and Persona 5, The Phantom X. Now, there is also a really big difference in price tags here. You have titles like Fragpunk and Mecha Break that are free to play. You have games like Schedule 1s and Repos that are on the cheaper side. Peak is $8. And then you have Monster Hunter Wilds, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, Assassin's Creed Shadows, and Stellar Blade, which are the most expensive on this list, but even so, it's not like they were $80 experiences, and there's no way that a game like Monster Hunter Wilds or Assassin's Creed Shadows would have made money if they were full price. So that's also not a good look for the industry. It just goes to show that when your price tag is lower, you're going to sell more copies of a game, and that means you're going to make even more money. So that's not good for the main industry. That's not good for the EAs and the Ubisofts. Surprising nobody, Monster Hunter Wilds holds down the top spot, and that's unlikely to be beaten. Split Fiction, another game from a smaller studio but funded by EA, is in 4th, and Stellar Blade, Dune Awakening, and Mecha Break round out the top 10. There are some really phenomenal games on this list, and I'm so glad to see so many good titles finding success, but when games like Clair Obscur Expedition 33 and Peak and Schedule 1 and Repo and Split Fiction are doing so good and can hold their own against major games like Monster Hunter Wilds and Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 and Assassin's Creed Shadows. That's not good for the large companies in the industry. So I'm just really happy to see that so many talented and passionate developers are breaking through in this industry and are making games that are making money. So almost half of this year's top performing Steam games have come from AA or indie studios, and I'll definitely be keeping my eye on the Steam charts over the second half of the year to see what else kind of makes a lot of money and what else really just dominates. I don't think that Monster Hunter Wilds is going to get beat, but I guess you never know. Though that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this, give it a like, and if you didn't, give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I'll talk to you all again in the next video really soon.